Hey everybody, Kenneth Russell here. Hope you're doing awesome. Today is September 8th, 2016, and on September 6th, 2006 was my first day that I ever went to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so about 10 years ago this week was my first day of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For those of you that don't know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art. And it's an awesome martial art. In my opinion, it's basically the best martial art. But it's different than most other arts, and the reason is number one, it's grappling. So it's not like learning how to kick and punch. It's more of like holds and how to submit people. So it's similar to like wrestling if you're breaking arms and choking people, and which you tap out before you. If you watch like any MMA type stuff. The stuff they're doing on the ground is all Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anyway, so I've been training about 10 years. And when I first started, I remember them saying it takes about 10 years to get your black belt if you're really dedicated. And this time last year, I remember there was a guy, he was a teenager. I started taking when I was 26, I think, 27. I was 27. He was a teenager, he's 17, and he got his blue belt. And that was like a couple months after I started, and last year he got his black belt. So sure enough, it was like right there. It's about 10 years. Well, I am looking at it, and there's 5 belts in Jiu-Jitsu, and I'll get to the reason why I'm talking about Jiu-Jitsu and how it relates to musicianship here in a second. But there's 5 belts. White, you start with, blue, purple, brown, and black. Jiu-Jitsu is different than other martial arts because most other martial arts, you kind of go, you learn some stuff, you take a test, and then you get promoted. And a lot of times they'll just have belts. There'll be like 12 different belts you can get, or whatever the case is, and then you get your black belt. Sometimes they'll have less belts, and then they'll put stripes on your belt, and then you get promoted that way, and then you get your black belt. And for most arts, it's like 2 years. Like I said, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is 10 years. This is my 10th year this week, and I'm going to class right now on my way, and this is my belt right here. This is a 4-stripe blue belt, which means I'm close to becoming a purple belt. So what does this mean? What am I talking about? This belt right here, if you were to see me at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you were to, after you get done with class, everybody spars. So everybody like wrestles with each other. Say I was to go to another school, and I show up, I've got this belt. Pretty much, you know what level I'm at. You know how good I am, because this belt shows me how good I am. And there's really no way to fake it. It's not like other martial arts where you just kind of, if you basically show up for 2 months, you're going to get a stripe, and then, it's easy to progress. Jiu-Jitsu is merit-based. So if you're not good, you're not going to get promoted. If you're not mastering the things you're supposed to master, you're not going to get promoted. And it's all like real world stuff. So it's not just show me in theory if you know how to do fill in the blank. You're sparring other guys, you're fighting other guys, and so it's easy to see what level you're at. So what does this have to do with musicianship? Musicianship is very, very similar in the fact that it doesn't matter how long you've been a musician, doesn't matter how long you've been a guitar player, you've been a keyboard player, a drummer. The number of years from your start date means almost nothing. Just like this, I got this belt, this blue belt, I got 1.5 years after I started, and I'm still a blue belt. I know people that have been taking for less than 3 years and are purple belts because they're super dedicated to it. So with musicianship, I've noticed that sometimes musicians will use the number of years, and you can put me in this category because I used to do this, use the number of years that they've been playing as a measurement of how good they are. It's like if I say, hey, I've been playing guitar for 10 years, you're assuming I'm at a certain level. But unlike jiu-jitsu, on like the strap of my guitar, there's not like stripes and like different colors telling me how good I am. So you can basically BS really easy by saying, yeah, I've been playing for X number of years. But the number of years does not really make, I gotta get off on this exit. Number of years does not make the difference. It's all about how good you are. So knowing that, there's two things that I want to talk about. Number one is to the person like myself. I remember going to college. I was 18 years old. I've been playing 9 years, and I used to say, yeah, I've been playing 9 years like I was awesome. And I wasn't. I actually probably had a good 3 years of like maybe 4 years of good practice in there. So it'd be very easy for somebody to play 3 years and be at the same level that I was at 9 years, maybe even 2 years if they're really dedicated. So my point is, there's that. Just stop doing that. Like, don't use the number of years you've been playing as an indicator of how good you are. Because there's been times I've met people and they say, yeah, after playing guitar for 25 years, I'm whatever, and they'll throw that out there. And when you play with them, you think like, geez, like, what have you been doing for those 25 years? Like, have you only played those same chords for the last 20 of those 25 years? Have you not learned anything? Like, there's not a desire to get any better. So there's the kind of the negative if you're saying the number of years like that's something. Now here's the reality. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're what level you're at, as long as you're not like blowing smoke. And I mean, not that I really care even if you are blowing smoke, but my point is, like with jiu-jitsu, if someone said, hey, do you train jiu-jitsu? And I said, yeah, I've been training for 10 years. I'm implying that I'm good, and I'm not. Someone, if they say, hey, you train jiu-jitsu? I go, yeah, I'm a four-stripe blue belt. And I would do the same thing with musicianship. If you can, it's always better to undersell yourself and outperform than to oversell yourself and underperform. And so it's interesting because I've noticed, just over the years, you can kind of, without even hearing someone play, I can almost tell you if they're a good musician just by talking with them ahead of time. I mean, like, it's really crazy just on the way that they present themselves, if they're trying to be good, if they're trying to do that. But it's interesting. It's usually the most humble guys that are like, yeah, no, I'm not that good, or it's almost like they are better than they are. Maybe it's just a perception thing of the underselling versus the overselling thing. But anyway, I wanted to encourage you with that. The two things is not to be a pretend like you're better than you are. And then the second thing is, don't worry if you're not great. For some of us, like I was saying, if you started playing and your goal is to be a professional musician, well, yeah, you do need to practice hours a day. You do need to stay really, really sharp on your skills. And it's just like the kid that plays basketball in high school, yeah, you do need to practice. You do need to be trying to win. But if you're just playing pickup basketball, it's okay to miss a couple weeks. It's okay to not, be the best guy on the court. And just like me playing or doing jiu-jitsu, it's okay that I'm a 4-stripe blue belt and not a black belt after 10 years. I'm totally cool with that. So if you're a guitar player that you just say, listen, I don't have any aspirations to be like a rock star. I just enjoy playing guitar, and I've got my acoustic guitar, and whenever I go camping, I get to pull it out and play. That's awesome. That is really cool. But over these 10 years that I've been taking jiu-jitsu, I've noticed that comparison just in myself, the mental difference, the similarities of jiu-jitsu versus musicianship. So anyway, hopefully you like this video. If you did, please hit the like button and share with your friends, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow in another video.